That's right. Good afternoon. You're watching another edition or listening to another edition of the Crayola Sec Harsh Reality right here live on Spreaker, on a few other platforms, on the internet radio at tinyurl.com/CSHR radio. And you can also come see us at CSHR-radio.com, as well as featured on CrayolaSec.org. Also, if you want to call the radio station, you're more than welcome to at 1-844-900-CSHR. Again, that number is 844-900-2747. This is the Crayola Sec Harsh Reality Podcast, and this is the Tuesday trailer. Good afternoon. Since you're just sitting there staring blindly at me in the screen.
Yeah, good afternoon, see. Good evening, I mean.
Now you look like some type of Arab.
Hello. Hello, hello. I mean, like I said, I have been, there are some white supremacist types that have been treating me like an Arab after, post 9/11 Arab, apparently. I won't mention any names, but I think they're from the Pallet Farm.
The Pallet Farm. Beautiful pallet gardens right there in Area 50, Oklahoma, because we're too cheap to get an address.
It's kind of sad when people have to take a year and a half to figure out something that's been public for like a year and a half. Pretty bad. I mean, and then they brag. Then they think it's hilarious and brag about it. When in reality, they're just upset that they can't do anything with it.
Yeah, we'll just give them a round of applause.
Yeah, at this point, it's like, yay! We finally learned how to use another search engine.
Congratulations, you finally figured out how to use a whois function for a website.
Yeah. It's pretty bad. At this point, it's like, yeah, that doesn't matter. What does matter is that, yes, Mr. Sonnier, I apologize for being late because we had to fulfill a CSHR radio obligation, such as the contest giveaway.
Yeah, sure. Whatever.
There you go. The question is, but are you going to be up here for homegrown?
I'm going to try to be. I mean, it's like 10 days from now.
Well, I don't know. The thing is, if that's the case, I'd have to save some tickets for you and Olivia. Unless Olivia has to stay there for whatever reasons.
Animals.
Yeah. Damn animals.
What the hell was that? What was that?
What?
I don't know. Some kind of weird sound in the background just now.
I said, damn animals. Just gotta save me money. I'm just kidding. It's kind of funny. It's just weird, like how crazy everything's gotten at this point.
Michael Hunt says, Harsh was too busy getting sunglasses to turn up on time.
Well, that's half of it, when someone
That's
gives when you give someone a prize, they give you gifts too.
The gift you give, wait, what?
Some people give you gifts if you're nice with them, Scott. You should try it sometime.
I don't need anyone to give me any gifts. I don't like people enough for all that.
Clearly you don't.
I don't think I ever have.
Yeah, well, you might want to get used to. You might want to turn that up once you start getting healthier, because that is part of promotion. So, and that's also a tax write-off for the company. So there you go.
I am so far from being healthy right now. It's not even funny.
Yeah, that's what I've also come to realize.
I mean, I'm breathing. That's about the only thing I got going for me right now.
Is what?
I'm breathing.
Well, look at it this. You also got something else going for you.
And that would be?
As old as we claim you look, Bean, and as much as we call you a boomer, you're a lot younger and healthier looking and healthier looking than the Pallet Ford people.
That's scary.
I mean, compared to them, you basically look like a male model. You know, I mean, compared to them, it's
The
like
palette,
fuck.
the palette form people.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
you look like a male model compared to them. I
Come
mean,
welcome
it's
us to
really
beautiful
scary.
Palette Gardens right here in Area 50, Oklahoma.
Yeah, I mean, you and Olivia basically look like the most fashionable people in the entire world compared to those idiots.
You look like the most
I
interesting man in the world.
I'd say even better looking than him compared to them. Like, fuck.
He is the most interesting man in the world.
I mean,
I swear he looks better than the Harry Carey on a Sunday.
I mean, they've become so ugly. They've gotten so ugly. You could probably give Sam a makeup tutorial. That's okay. Like you give the women at that
I would
palette for the
so
women
learn
a makeup tutorial.
okay,
That's
if
how
I had
bad
the
it's gotten.
opportunity to do something like that, I would so learn how to do the juggalo makeup, just so I could see if I could turn her into a juggalo.
I mean, I thought she already was.
Well, she just doesn't wear the face paint. I don't think.
Mm.
I mean, unless you
I
consider all of the Photoshop crap.
I mean, what the? I mean, if they just left people alone, the ugliness from inside wouldn't be protruding to their skin. But unfortunately, it is. I mean, it's just, ugh. I don't look like anything special. But
My
god damn, they
my
look like, ugh.
my friend Harsh, the philosophical one,
I
obviously.
mean, they just look. I
Just
mean,
call them what they are. Dumb.
no, that's an understatement. Dumb is an
Slow.
understatement. Dumb is like dumb is jumping over a bench and injuring your back for no reason. That's dumb.
Mama said stupid is as stupid does.
Dumb is like, I don't know, electrocuting yourself, because you plug something in the wrong socket for no reason. That's dumb. They are beyond
That can
it.
also happen to you in intimate times with a female as well if you plug into the wrong area of the woman. And that could be
Yeah,
life threatening.
only if they've been with Tommy Lee, then it is possible. But someone like that. But the point being is like, I mean, there's just nothing you could really say about them at this
I
point.
had to throw the laugh track on Harsh just now. Sorry about that.
I mean, I was saying this, but it's like every time they try to attack anyone, it's like bad things happen to them in real life. It's like, dude, it's like, how are you gonna be like attacking people and doxing people to defend pedophiles, and then have a car hit and then get hit, they get run over, just to be like, hey, everything's fine, it's normal, that's just what it is. It's like, no, people don't get run over in their own apartment complex unless they're not good people. Like, it's that simple. That's kind of why I like spirituality. It's like whatever happens, nah, it's
Blech. Blech.
what whatever whatever that's good will happen to who's good, and whatever that's bad will happen to who's bad. I mean, sometimes it's not the case, but most of the time it is. I mean, you just look at the palette for people. I mean, what good things have happened to them in the last 2 years? Nothing. But,
The
all right,
palette
enough
form.
of that.
Well, I
Now, what
mean,
are
they
your
just won't go away, and that's the biggest thing. They just it's like uh, what would be a it's like termites and old wood.
yeah?
They just don't go away.
I mean, they just don't go away, but instead they're the ones that get poisoned. So it's like,
Well, que sera, sera. We have to have natural selection somewhere in this world.
yeah.
You know,
I mean, it's kind of weird when people get upset when you accuse them of something, and then instead of like trying to prove you wrong, they end up doing things that just prove you right time and time again.
right?
I mean, at this point, it's like they're basically just your textbook like trailer trash white supremacist types. That's all they are. But yeah, that doesn't matter at this point. It's just sad what they've become. But I mean, there's really nothing else to say about them at this point. Quite frankly, there's really nothing to do at this point. They're just sad. They're just sad people.
Just sad people.
It just
Just
it's just
sad.
tragic. It really is.
It's all okay.
That's why I like what we're doing now.
I don't. I'm joking.
I mean, that's why you're so grumpy and angry. But
No, I'm not. Well, we can always talk about Trump. I mean, he's trying to downplay his legal challenges, on his campaign trail.
oh, man, more of the song and dance with Trump and all them. I truly believe this is all happening just so Trump has a reason not to run for re-election.
Or another one is human waste leaking from a truck causes crashes on a Connecticut highway. That's always fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the Powerball jackpot is $1 billion now.
Oh yeah, I already got my tickets for that.
Just send me the $20.
You know what's the sad? You know what's the funny part about it? Even if I won the lottery, that'd just be more money for the company.
Right.
All I do is invest. Yeah, maybe I'd buy another property, maybe buy a property or two here or there, but for the action, for the people in our group or whatever. But
Right.
as a safe house or something, that'd be about it. Other than that, it'd just be, life would still really not change all that much. The only difference is it'd just be, well, I wouldn't feel like such an underachiever in front of my family.
$1 billion. You would and you still would not be able to afford something like Twitter.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want that. Not unless I was that desperate for a tax write-off. I'm pretty sure Elon Musk bought Twitter for a tax write-off. I can't imagine why he'd do something that stupid. Then again, Elon Musk is basically the 21st century version of Thomas Edison, so I mean the guy made money just by being a thief.
Really? He wasn't a thief, that was his parents.
No, his parents are even worse. They made money off of the blood diamond industry.
I mean, you can't call him a thief for buying other people's intellectual properties.
Yeah, but he didn't really buy them. He basically stole them.
No, he paid $88 billion for Twitter. I wouldn't say that's stealing it.
No, that's him being a bad businessman. Is why he spent that much on Twitter. But like, I'm talking about like PayPal and Tesla and SpaceX. It's like this guy doesn't create anything.
Well, I mean, if they're willing to sell it and he's willing to buy it and it makes him a ton of money, then good for him.
Right. Yeah, I think I said this on a Friday show. I was referring to what Terrence Daniels said. It's like, remember, Bayer Monsanto, they make money off of their poison, and Tesla makes money. I mean, and Elon makes money off of his poison. And I'm like, Bayer Monsanto at least makes their own poison to sell to profit off of. Elon doesn't even do that.
It's like, Sam Marley says, why don't Will do this anymore? That is a question.
He's been busy with real life stuff.
And hey, Harsh.
From what I remember talking to him a few months back, he's been like really just focused on real life. He's not he doesn't really want to waste his time on social media as much. That's from what I gathered. So I do miss the man. God. It was fun when Hartwoods was there, and I'd always make fun of you not understanding why natives need their own advocacy groups. That was always a fun time.
I mean, I don't. I agree that they do need them.
Right.
Not that they
No, that's
don't need them.
right.
As far as whatever other people do, I mean, that's on them.
Yeah.
I don't think certain members of the LGBTQ LMNOP community need advocacies.
No, but speaking of advocacy and all that, what do you think of the Sound of Freedom movie?
I read a little bit about it. It seems more like Q-tard propaganda than anything.
Yeah.
From just what I've read, I'm not interested in watching it, nor do I have plans on watching it.
Yeah, I mean, I was interested in waiting until outside after the theaters to watch it, but now I'm just like, knowing who created that movie, I'm like, no thanks. You know, Jim Ballard, a guy who was involved in all that stuff, who was literally involved in the Clinton Foundation and human trafficking and all that. The fact that he wrote a movie about that is just gross.
You
I
can't
mean,
see me, Troy, because my cats messed up my camera and I didn't feel like fixing it.
right. Right. I mean, you know, the fact that someone like Tim Ballard making a movie about child trafficking is like someone from is like what is no different than than a mobster making a movie about the mob. And that's all it is.
Well, I mean, aren't they normally hired as consultants? So if he wasn't a child trafficker, who would he hire to be the consultant on the film so he gets everything accurate?
How about people who actually rescue people from child traffickers?
Well, I mean, he could always hire the Clintons so he can get the inside business track of it.
He works for the Clintons hired him.
Well, you know
Clintons
what I
used to
mean.
work for him. He used to work for the Clintons, the Clinton Foundation. So yeah, God, it's like, come on, really? That'd have been like in 1945, Al Capone making a movie about the mob, writing a movie about the mafia. It's like, really? Come on. Like the evils of the mafia, written by Al Capone. Really?
That would be pretty funny, actually. I think I'd
Right,
probably
but that's
enjoy that.
exactly what the equivalent of this is. It's exactly. It's like, what are you serious? That was like in 1970, Jimmy Hoffa writing a movie about how unions are corrupt and evil.
Jimmy
It's
Hoffa
like,
writing about the Teamsters.
yeah, about the crimes committed by the Teamsters Union. It's
Right.
like, really? Come on.
Which is one of the reasons why they can't find Jimmy Hoffa to this day.
I think he's in another country somewhere, just living life.
I'm pretty sure he's dead.
Well, he was like what 40 something when he disappeared, and it's been 45 years later. I mean, in theory, he should be dead, but probably no. He could be in Argentina, being very skinny, eating pizza. We'll never know. And quite frankly, it's not really for us to figure out.
If you're listening to any of the podcasting services, drop us a comment. Let us know where you think Jimmy Hoffa is buried.
Wait, no, never mind. He was 62 when he disappeared. Yeah, you're definitely right about him being dead.
I just have a feeling he's like a pylon in a random building somewhere in Chicago or something like that.
Well, I mean, probably somewhere Detroit, if anything.
Or Detroit. Well, same shit.
If he got killed in Chicago, that means he probably pissed off. That means he probably pissed off the Splatoros or whatever.
Well, I mean, you know, it's the same shit all the way around. The crime families, whatever. Who cares?
Right. Yeah. Well, that's true. It's like basically the crime
Troy
family.
says he thinks he's buried in Brian Johnson's backyard.
God, if that's the case, my condolences to him and his family. Holy fuck.
To Jimmy Hoffa's family, not Brian's family by far.
Yeah. God.
Yeah, if you
I mean,
log in,
that's
you can
just
see the
terrible
comments.
in so many ways.
If you'd log in, you can see the comments.
I'm doing that right now again.
Someone is lazy today and doesn't want to do what he's supposed to be doing. He don't know why.
And now he's the one being out and about promoting the brand while his business partner is being a hobbit.
A hobbit spent like the last 2 days building websites and crap.
I know you have. I just love giving you a hard time about how like you're such a curmudgeon sometimes.
Robert says, "Hi, Harsh."
Hey, Robert!
Where's
Yeah.
where's
Troy says, I think, oh my God. And he's saying to Scott, you're being lazy because your belly button got stolen.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing is just lunacy at this point. It really is. It's just, yeah. I mean, even the mafia's not the mafia anymore. I mean, they still exist. It's not the same.
Yeah, but in what capacity? Because you really don't hear about any of that stuff anymore.
Well, a lot of them are just either chilling on the inside or they're just, mean in prison. And some of them are just, well, regrouping. But, and of course, they're hiding their identities because no one wants to know who's who at this point. Plus, people really don't care about crime anymore when it comes to that sort of crime. Like before, it used to be so fascinating to read about organized crime. Now you're just like, well, okay, that's nice.
Because it's been around for so long.
Yeah.
Everybody's just kind of, whatever.
Too many
Troy
movies
says,
have
are
been.
they dealing drugs? Which is true. The more they like
Yeah, that is true, but that's no longer the. And he says that's why we have people like Trick. I don't think the mob would care for someone like Trick. He'd be on the. He'd be like a low level dealer, if anything.
If anything, they would probably wind up killing him.
Yeah, eventually, because he'd get high off of their own supply, and he'd do a bunch of other stuff that would get them in trouble. So yeah, he'd have to be whacked.
He'd have to be whacked.
He would. He definitely would.
Jeez.
But yeah, but I remember back in the day, like the way the five families had everything split up. It was like you had the commission, where like all the mobsters from all over, and then you basically had like the mob. The mob basically controlled two halves. There was a New York half, and there was the Chicago half. The Chicago half was like Chicago, West Coast onward, and then the New York half was everything until the city of Chicago.
Troy says, no, we misunderstood. They deal in drugs to Trick, and now he is pushing 50.
Pushing 50.
Soon, we blame the
he
mafia.
Looks like he's 55, 60 years old.
Troy says, if he dies soon, we can blame the mafia.
Yeah. Yeah, they have bigger things to worry about.
Dysentery from the pallet fort.
I mean, pushing 50. Trick looks like he's pushing 60. Trick looks old enough to be Scott Jr.'s grandfather. And I'm not even saying that's a joke.
Well, I mean, Patrick might have got bad genes from the fact that both of his dads may not have great genes. I mean, his mom and dad.
Yeah, but they look a lot younger than he does. I mean, his dad doesn't look that young, but his other dad looks youngish.
Well, to be fair, if you were married to that woman, would you look all that young?
No.
That woman is scary. I'm sorry. I don't care who you are.
Married to that woman, deal with all the drama in their family. It's like, no.
Kyle Warwood says, my mom has great genes, but my dad prefers sweats. And there's your dad joke for today.
Yeah. And Troy says, what you mean his dad was a cuckold like Trick?
No, his dad, I think, is married to his other dad because I'm not sure if that woman's actually a woman.
Well, either way, in a way, I guess you could say he's a cuckold. I mean, look at what happened to his website. His website had to be shut down for him to stand up to his own son. Like, I mean, come on. Like, let's just call it what it is.
And what was even more funny is that after his dad got the website back up and running, he wouldn't let Patrick back in it to manage it for him anymore.
Nor should he. Nor should he. Are you serious? I'm just glad it took his. Yeah, I'm just glad he got kicked out. It's like, you know, God, he looks like he definitely looks like he's on the way out. I think in 2 months' time, I wouldn't be surprised if in the next 2 to 6 months, I wouldn't be surprised if he's like if he goes the way of Brian William Johnson.
If he goes, well, he has money now, so you never know.
What money?
Well, he was forced to get a job. Remember?
You think he makes enough at that job?
No, I didn't say that.
And remember, if he's staying at the Palletford Kingdom, all that money's going to stay him in the house anyway.
God. So what's some weird stuff going on out there now?
Oh man, I don't even know.
You don't even know. What do you
All
mean?
I know is it's just weird how people claim that they don't believe in God, they don't believe in spirituality, and yet somehow they end up having like a Jesus Christ complex.
Who are you talking about?
Lots of people at this point.
Ooh, tell me. I want name. No, I'm just playing. I don't really care.
It's like, let me defend your pedophiles, your junkies, your bad parent, your absentee mothers, your meth heads, your losers, and your wastes of oxygen, and come under my ring because I'm your Lord and Savior. I mean, I won't mention any names, but one of the bisexuals at the Pallet Fort definitely fits this role. You know, he's the one who's been crying about me for the past like year. Right.
Well, I mean, Tupac Shakur is making an appearance again,
That's awesome.
even though he's dead. They decided some kind of way or another his case got thrown back into the spotlight in Las Vegas. I'm not sure how that happened, but anyway.
Didn't they close that case at one point?
No, it's always been a cold case.
Oh.
So it hasn't been closed.
Yeah, well, cold cases are very interesting. Some say Suge Knight did it. Others, say that it didn't go down like that. Personally, it's been so long, I really don't care. But I think the anniversary of his death is coming up soon too. So,
well, they investigated a home, and it was conducted somewhere in the city of Henderson, but they didn't say whether a suspect has been identified. It's also unclear what they were looking for and where they were looking. Maybe they just had to go out there and say, "Oh yeah, this is for Tupac's case," just to put something on the books.
They probably did. Must have a slow day at the LVPD if they're doing stuff like that.
Right, nothing to do.
Yeah,
not too many people in the casinos counting cards. Yeah.
Not too many fights at pool parties in Vegas anymore.
Yeah, not a bunch of kids that look like the lead singer, the guy that does Party Rock or whatever.
Yeah.
Being drunk and stupid.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing is just weird.
I just want to know how he wound up back in the news, 30 years after he died?
It must be a really slow news week. Even for their standards, it must be slow.
And Phoenix, of course, broke the heat record this week.
Yeah, poor Phoenix.
I mean, that place has always been like 7,000 degrees Fahrenheit anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, nice place to buy a winter home, but I don't think I could live there during the summer.
I don't think I could live there, period.
You know, you say that now, but if it's January in 75, you'd be okay.
Oh, well, yeah, absolutely. But I could do that in New York, too.
It wouldn't be 75 degrees in January in New York.
No, it'd be 40 degrees in January, which would be even better.
Troy says people, chickens, and there are 50 genders. I love how they say there's 50 genders until it's time to order a shirt. Then all of a sudden it's back to 2 genders. You know what's the sad part about this?
What's that?
You know, like all this like trans stuff about like men becoming, transitioning to women. You know who actually it hurts when it comes to these competitions?
Wait, say that again?
You know, it's funny. You know, it's a funny thing about this, like men transitioning to women to join. You know, and they end up joining these competitions. Like they've been playing sport, high school and college sports, and they enter these beauty pageants and all that. Like, you know what it actually does? It ends up hurting women.
Well, yeah, it takes away from women.
Right. I mean, what type
it
of
literally
message did
takes
that
away
send? That like it's
to what, a kid?
not a kid, but like what type of message does it send in general that like a man can transition into a woman and win a beauty pageant? That happened in the Netherlands and that happened in Nevada, and you're just like, come on, really?
It's disgusting, actually. I
Right.
mean, that is literally taking everything that a woman fought for away from them.
Yeah, it's like, we want women's rights, we want feminism, and then this happens. It's like it's basically death to feminism, and they don't even realize it. It's like, God. Well, a man can do everything better than a woman, including being a woman. What the? Really? You gotta go there? Really?
Sorry, buddy, but I have to disagree with that one.
Yeah, of course. Same here. That's what I said, really. High End Hobo says the trans issue is about normalizing sociopathy. Agreed. 2 + 2 = 5. Yeah, it really is.
Well, Donald Trump said Tuesday that he's received a letter informing him that he is now the target of the Justice Department's investigation into efforts to overturn the results of the 2020 election, an indication he could soon be charged by U.S. prosecutors.
In Michigan, the state of Michigan's trying to charge him and 68 other electors for that, too. This is all such a ruse. This is so he can be a martyr, a political martyr, and everyone's like, you see, they're going after me because they're going after you. Believe me, folks. Believe me. I'm taking one for the team. I'm taking one for the team. They really don't want me to run again. Believe it. Scott, I know you voted for me last time. You got to vote for me again.
Actually, I voted independent.
I just wanted to say that.
I am not a Donald Trump fan. Although I will say his policies were better than President Biden. I mean, that's just obvious.
Yeah, that's not really saying much of anything, though.
Well, no, it's not. But I mean, we had our economy was in a lot better shape while he was president. Jobs started to come back. Gas prices went down. And now we're bleeding to death again, and we're going through inflation and everything else.
Yeah, I mean, people got more checks when Trump was president.
Absolutely.
And and wages were up too. All right. Troy says By the way, y'all heard now kids claiming if you struggle with time, it's a disability called time blindness, and a new movement is starting. And he also says harsh as Trump Jr. Absolutely wonderful, believe me. Yeah, he already said that. And he says, I'm all for people being comforted in their own skin, but there's no medical procedure that can convert a trans into a cis. But that is what they're trying to claim. Yeah, it really is, Bo. It's kind of weird. Really, it's just weird. Like no matter how much money you spend, and no matter how good the surgeon is, you're not gonna. It's never gonna be that way. It just isn't. And then Bo Font says Trump is okay depending on how it's cooked. Presidents don't impact the economy. Well, they can and they can't.
They can.
It depends, really.
I mean, you're right to an extent, but you're also wrong because if people don't have any faith in the government, businesses move other places. So yes, it does affect the economy. And
But
frivolous and
minimal.
ridiculous laws that they pass that like increase the amount of money being printed and everything else also causes the economy to get messed up.
Right.
Whenever all of these people have help wanted signs in their front yards of their businesses, but they're not actually hiring anybody because they're getting these government subsidies for being understaffed because of COVID, then yeah, they affect the economy. Then people are not working. People are not paying back into the economy.
Well, Bo's right when he says the government is the public agent of the corporate class. We've never had a government. Pretty much. I mean, what we basically had is like the corporate class telling the government to just ease up on people for a bit. And then when they did, they're like, nah, don't do that anymore. We're tired. And that's the closest thing we've had, you know.
But horrible policies also affect the economy. You know? And yeah, there may be corporate interests, but what we really need is a businessman to run the country for a while. Somebody that's interested in making money to actually run the country. Yeah, we can put Elon Musk in there. He could turn this piece of shit around. That's a joke, by the way. Well, Mr. Harsh, I am ready to call it a night. It is way past my bedtime, sir.
Yeah, well, on that note, before we, what do you call it? Let me read one more comment. I.e., the state is a welfare state system of the corporate class, according to Bo. And he says, running the country is never for the people. Well, no, not the way it's going, no. Other places in the world it might be to a point, but here, not really. Anyway, the point being is we have some other things to hype up. You think we should do another ticket giveaway contest?
It doesn't matter to me.
Okay. And on that note, this has been another edition of The Harsh Reality. This is Harsh Smith, and I'm one of you. The life is harsh, bro, so live it. And for those of you at Crayola Sec, the one, not the Rose Arts, the actual ones at Crayola Sec, sometimes you got to color outside the lines. And for those of you at Clown Sec, again, the ones actually in Clown Sec, not the Rose Art retards, honk honk. Take care, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.